All praises to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Makar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video on how people have got a problem with us being the Israelites, right? And answering the questions on if we are actually the Israelites, what difference does it make, right? Because a lot of people, now that this information is getting put out there that we in fact are the Israelites, they try and make out like being an Israelite is insignificant now. Yet at the same time as us believing that we are the Israelites, there's another group of people that have been proclaiming that they are the Israelites for almost like a good century now, a century plus now, right? And nobody ever called that insignificant when they were saying that they were. And in fact, they go on marches, they waved flags for these people. They call people a specific word to say, oh, you can't be against these people, because if you are, that means you're anti this, anti-S, emetic, right? That's what they'll come with. In fact, the reason why we have to even change our speech and talk in such a way where we, instead of saying what we want to say, we have to say unalived, is because of these people, right? These people that wear a hat on their head that is far too small. The hats they wear on their head are far too small, right? Hence the name small hats, right? John chapter 8 and verse 32, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So one of the first things that us believing that we're the Israelites does is makes us free, right? Because now we understand that all the things that have been happening to us over the years are not because of what the reasons why people said they were happening were. Oh, we're mean to you people because you're black thugs and you don't want to get right, you don't want to get a job, you don't take care of your kids, you don't this, you don't that, this, that, or whatever. Yeah, right. That's not the reason why you don't like us. Because those things that you say about us are not true. In the majority. Some of them things can be true in the minority, but they're not true in the majority. Because when we look and examine other nations of people, we see that you're doing wickedness as well. Right? Isaiah, Ezra, Esdras, when he was in Babylon, he saw the Babylonians flowing in wealth, yet they think not upon Yahweh's commandments. Us right now, we're not in Babylon. Well, some of us are in the modern Babylon, the great, right? But others obviously in other places around these heathen, and we see that they flow in wealth, and they don't think upon Yahweh's commandments. And when they do wickedness, right, they're not asking for Yahweh to have mercy on them. They're not asking for Yahweh Shai's blood to cover them. They're not mentioning Yahweh Shai's name. They'll mention a fake name till they're red in the face. They won't mention the real name. They won't mention Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. They won't mention that. They'll mention everything else under the sun. They'll even tell their children, don't be naughty because Santa Claus is going to put you on a naughty list. They're going to be getting ready to say that in what, 2 months? Not long away at all. 2 months from now, people are going to be getting ready to say to their children, if you be naughty, you know Santa's going to put you on a naughty list, right? And you're not going to get your prezzies. They're going to be talking all that BS. But back to the thing of if we are the Israelites, what difference does it make? Well, for starters, we understand that the reasons why we're going through some of the bad things we're going through, if not all of them, is because we're cursed. And the reason why we're cursed is because we broke the laws of Yahweh. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15, but it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which commanded this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So us understanding them, but knowing that we are the Israelites, right, lets us know that, oh, all these things that you're going through that are bad, they're happening to you because you're cursed right now, but the time's going to come when you're not cursed anymore, right? And there's certain things that happens to us, man, that I'm like, man, these things are not normal. Like, for example, I saw a video the other day, right, of a Jake, some big strong up Jake, man, scoffing the Hebrew Israelites, right, along with, and he was with some Edomites or whatever, and then afterwards I seen him, it looked like he came back to them and apologized on camera, right. And now this actual video was from 2 months ago, but when I seen it, I was like, nah, man, something about that rubbed me the wrong way, because the people that he was with, that he was trying to defend, were some of them get them all out, mate, kind of guys, right? And I was like, you know what? This guy deserves to be prayed for me to pray to Yahweh against this guy, for him to be humbled, man, right? And then on this guy's YouTube channel, not like recently, the last video that I seen that they had a tear of their bicep, man. They tore their whole bicep tendon, man, or they had a like major muscular injury, right? And I'm not trying to say that what I prayed to Yahweh made that happen, but what I wanted Yahweh to do, or was make him get humbled for his pride what he showed, happened, man, because he was arguing with them and all that, telling them, "Oh, shut up, man," saying, they're gonna go to Esau and all this, right? But really, he knows, he admitted that he knows that Yahweh Shai is a so-called black man. And really, he knows that we're the Israelites. He knows that. I could tell he knows that, right? Yet at the same time, he was trying to play games, man. And then he felt cut to the soul, and it looked to me like he went and apologized afterwards. But was he trying to apologize sincerely, or apologize for public image? You see, there's a difference, man. But either way it goes, whatever he's been doing, Yahweh caused for him to get a tear of his body, man, which humbles a guy that's as strong as he looks. A guy that's as strong as that Jake looked would get humbled by having something like that to happen to them, man. And from what I seen, he was talking like, "Oh man, this has never happened to me before." And if that person comes across this and kind of can read between the lines and understand that I'm talking about them, well, humble yourself, man. Which is what we all need to do, really, anyway. But don't be going up to the Hebrew Israelites, running your mouth, and consider that this happened to you, that happened to you, right? Because of what you did to them. Because of what you did to them, that's why that happened to you. That's the reason why. Which is the reason why all of these things are happening to our nation in the first place. Here's a good place to go to, man. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother. Now, when I go through this world, right, I can sense this one, man. I can sense this. Like, a Jake will just have a neutral face, looking at Esau, looking at any of the other heathen, and when they see you, their eyes darken, man. You can feel it. You can feel the look that they have for you versus the look that they have for anyone else is different, man. It's a different look that they have, right? It's just way different, man. The energy that they put towards their own people is different than the energy that they put towards a heathen, right? It's just way different. And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Now, before we understood that we were Israelites, people just used, "Oh, you black people, you can't get along, blah, blah, blah. You black people do this, you black people do that. You black people unalive other black people." Where, okay, we understand why now, though. It's because of this curse. Now, you heathens that are outside of our nation, you can say whatever you want to say. You can try and make it down to we're just naturally, genetically like that. Okay, you can say that all you want. Okay, we're just naturally, genetically predisposed to hurt each other. Okay, so what's the reason why you hurt each other then? If the reason why we hurt each other and why you claim we don't look after our kids is because of us being black, according to what y'all want to say, right? Okay, what's the reason why you don't look after your children then? And what's the reason why your people do things against each other? What was the reason for World War One and Two? Was that because of your skin color? What's the reason between what's going on in Russia and Ukraine right now, is that because of skin color? Is that because you're naturally just predisposed to violence? Or have you got an excuse for that? All these Edomites have got all kind of stats, fake psychological theories. You've got drapetomania. That's the reason why you're trying to flee captivity. Okay, what have you Edomites got? Devil mania. Like, what's your psychological thing, man, that you've got, man? What's the site? Like, they have all these stats. 13% are per capita. So-called black people are only this percent of the community, but they commit this amount of the crimes. I've got black fatigue. Okay, okay. I hear you. I hear your pain. Yeah. I feel your pain, demon. What stats have you got on your own people? Because you people are starting to claim that you're Christians now, right? Well, there's a Bible concept called take the beam at your own eye, right? So before you start doing stats on us, you better pull out the same stats. You better do the same statistical gathering as what you did on us, on yourself. So if you want to talk about 13%, okay, figure out your percentage and start talking about their crimes that they commit then as well. If we're even to believe the crimes that you try and claim that we do. And you want to talk about if there was 100 black men, five of them would be murderers. All right, that's what you claim. I don't believe you, but that's what you claim, right? Well, how many would be murderers, unalivers from Edomites? Like, you Edomites are a joke to me these days, because you're like this. This is the concept I can put to you. This nation, right? Their own house is on fire, and they're looking out the window, mad that their neighbor hasn't cut the grass. You know what I mean? Oh, he was this scruff. He ain't even cut the grass. But their actual own house is on fire, right? Their house is on fire, man. And I asked AI to make a picture of that one time, and it did. And the picture, like that, exactly is how it looks in my mind, man. A nosy Edomite neighbor, right? Watching what his neighbors are doing, looking out the window, stalking, being in that complete neighborhood watch unit all by himself, right? Worried about what everybody else is doing around the neighborhood, all while his own house is on fire and he can't even see that his house is burnt down and destroyed, but he's got everything to say about everyone else's house. That's what this nation does to everyone. They stick their nose in everyone else's business, trying to call everyone else a savage. But then when they commit those same acts and works that they would call savagery in somebody else, they make an excuse for it when it's them doing it. So it's a savage to carry a knife, right? It's a savage to carry a knife and run around and do things to people. But it's not a savage in their mind to carry a gun. Oh, that's civilized to carry a gun and blaze somebody with 10 rounds if they make you feel uncomfortable. But it's not savage to pull out a weapon and do the same thing when the same result happens. And a gun can be used close range, just like a sword would, just like a knife would. If you get close enough and pull the trigger enough times, you've cut that person 10 times. But they'll justify what they do, right? And make what everybody else does the worst thing on earth. Oh, they're savages. They're doing child mutilation. But I don't feel like a woman no more. So I want you to make me a PENS. Right? I'm a man and I don't feel like a man anymore. I want to be a female. So what I need you to do is take a mallet and absolutely smash and brutalize and smash it into puree my real genitalia, and then mold that around like clay and turn it into a ting man, and I put some flaps on that, which I know it's disgusting, but this is basically what they do. But here we go. Here, listen to this, man. If I take my ears off you and chop my Yo, I'm not even trying to be. I'm not even trying to be funny. If I take my ears off right now, yeah, and fold them up and fold them up a bit, and I glue my ears together, and then I take my nose off and I split my nose in half, and I put my nose where my ears are, and my ears where my nose is. Guess what, man? That place where I've put my nose is where and now it's where my ears are. That doesn't make my nose where my nose now is become ears. You understand? I've just put my nose where my ears used to be, and I've put my ears where my nose used to be. That's still my nose, mate. That's nose material that was made for nose things, and that's ear material that was made for ear things. So guess what? If you take your penis, smash it up, turn it into mashed potatoes, yeah, and then you're like, you know what? I'm gonna do a bit of a refurbishment around here. I'm gonna make it look like something else. It don't matter what it looks like. You could take your penis, smash it up, and make it look like an ear. Guess what? It's a smashed up penis that you've made to look like an ear. So if you smash it the thing and try and make it look like anything else, right? It's still what it is, right? Shakespeare said this, right? A rose by any other name would still smell as sweet, right? And that's, I believe, from Romeo and Juliet, right? A rose by any other name would still smell as sweet. Well, guess what? A penis by any other name is still that. You understand? You understand me? A penis by any other name is still your penis, mate. And that's a scientific term, right? And a vagina by any other name is still a vagina. An Edomite by any other name is still an Edomite. And an Israelite by any other name is still an Israelite. So we get to the point, man. All you nations out there, you can call us black all you want, right? When Yahweh made us, he said we're the Israelites. And he hasn't lost his memory. He's known exactly where the Israelites are ever since he made them. He knows where every single Israelite is. So you can get us to believe that we're whatever you want to say we are. It don't matter. We are what he said we are. And you are also what he said you are. So you can't stop us from being Israelites, man. I know you would like to. You can't. Right? In the grand scheme of things, this is all just being done for Yahweh to have some fun. Like, you can't stop us from being who we are, man. You can't stop anyone from being who they are. Right? That's what people that are trying to chase game say, right? Oh, if women say, if a man shows you who they are, believe them. Men say, oh, it's not yours, it's just your turn, brother. You can't change nothing, man. Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 24, man's goings are of Yahweh. They're not of man. Man's goings and of man's. You understand? Man's goings. And even that sounds how Jake would talk. Yo, man's this and man's that, you know? Man's this. Whose man's is this? That's what they say in America, right? Whose man's is this? Man's goings. Man's goings are of Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own way? This man don't understand his own way. That sounds like how we talk, man. Man's goings are of Yahweh. How can a man understand his own way? Man's goings then of man's. You understand? So you Edomites, your goings of Yahweh, and you don't understand your own way. Because if you did understand your own way, you would see the trajectory that you're leading yourself exactly where you don't want to lead. But you know what's happening to you? Your wickedness is blinding you. The amount of hatred that you have for us is making you think, fucking Israelite bastards. We're gonna get these ICE agents, we're gonna do them in. ICE, baby, we're gonna do them in. We're gonna do them for Esau. This is for the birthright retrieval. That's what y'all think? This is a birthright retrieval, man. Or however the hell y'all talk behind the scenes. This is for the birthright. Make this place great again. Make that place great again. This is for the birthright. No, you're not going to get the birthright back. In fact, really, you never had the birthright. And it's not even the birthright that's the biggest problem right now. It's the blessing, huh? You never had the blessing. You really never had it, man. Did you ever get blessed with that blessing in your life? No, you never. You never had that. You had the birthright and lost that, but you never actually had the blessing. Isaac was gonna give you the blessing, but you never got it though, did you? We got it, right? And we're not gonna sell it to you. So if you're thinking that's gonna happen, you're sadly mistaken. We ain't selling it to you. The birthright was not as powerful as the blessing. The birthright was able to be sold. The blessing was not. Because Isaac never said to Esau, why don't you get your brother to sell it to you? He said, I've gave it to him now. Ain't nothing I can do about that. So he must have put some sincerity into that blessing that he gave onto Jacob, man. But he gave sincerity unto the blessing that he gave you as well. But just the sword is corrupt. Like, you can't do much with the sword, man. But thanks for taking that instead of us, because then otherwise we would have been the ones that were blessed with the sword, and we would have been destined for the same thing as you scumbags, man. So rather you than me. It ain't. Let me drop one of your lines, man. It ain't personal, right? It ain't personal. It's business. That's what y'all like to say, right? It wasn't personal. It was business, right? Jacob wanted to give his descendants an everlasting inheritance. And thanks to Mama Rachel, excuse me, thanks to Mama Rebecca, right? She usurped your wicked ass too, man. Because she knew you was a wrong un. You know what I mean? She loved Jacob more, man. Get over it, man. And none of the things that you do now are going to get the birthright back. You could make you a tower that leads all the way up to the sky. It's not going to get you the birthright back. But since y'all like to go the scenic route, go ahead, man. Crack on, mate. Do all the things you want to try and do. And just, we're going to see, man. We're going to see. Right? We're going to see. I'm starting to see your nation proud right now. We're going to see. Right? The only thing that you've got to try and believe in is that you think you're white. All right. We're going to see how far that gets you. My IQ. What does IQ mean? Intelligence questions, innit? No, it don't mean that. Oh, well, it means that to me. So you get out of my face. Make it great again. That's how y'all are. You're dumb as hell, man. You ain't as smart as you think you are. You talk about us and say, what have you built? What have you built? Okay, let's look at what you've built then. A society where everyone's a freak. Congratulations. You've made a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. Congratulations. You made a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah and a modern day Egypt. Congrats. Oh, you must be real proud, huh? How honorable of you. You've made a society that's completely against the laws of the God you claim to believe in. Oh, yeah, I bet the Heavenly Father is looking down from the heavens, so grateful for what you've made, isn't he? So grateful that he's going to destroy the whole thing. So grateful that he's let you build, but he's going to throw down. And the world's going to call you the nation against whom you're having a nation forever. Congratulations. That's your gift to the world. Congrats. Your gift to the world is a continual reminder of this is what happens if you don't want the Israelites to rule over you. This is the end result. That's the end result, man. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall utterly perish. Yea, those nations shall be destroyed, man. Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly destroyed. So the first time this is going to be proven that this is not a myth and that this is actual fact is going to be Esau. And if any other nation wants to get crazy, that will be them as well. And I don't think that any other nation will take it there. But the Edomites are going to be the example made to prove that Yahweh's not joking when he said this. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and burn them, and there shall be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh has spoken it, not because I spoke it. I don't have the power to say, you know what? You see that nation over there? I don't want them around no more. Get rid of them. The day's going to come and I don't have the power to say that. I don't have the power to do none of that. I don't even have power to believe in the Lord if I want to or not. If He's made me believe in Him, then I'm gonna believe in Him. If He's made me not to, then I'm not gonna. We don't have no power down here. Man's going. I read it already, right? Man's goings out of Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own way? Like these people on this earth, they really want to try and make out like us being the Israelites just doesn't mean nothing, man. Okay, so you're an Israelite, big deal. No, don't try that. Don't try and even dare try and say, oh, so you're an Israelite, what does it matter? Look at how the world treated us for so long. Under the guise that we're black, under the guise that we're Latino immigrants, under the guise that we're Native Americans, right? Look at all the things that was done to us. But then at the same time as those things were being done to us, everyone used to talk about some hollow this and hollow that, right? The hollow events of Germany. Oh, it was so horrible what happened to them people. The chambers, the chambers, the chambers. Oh, so the only reason why you think that that stuff's so horrible is because you think that they're the chosen? Well, we are actually the chosen. And then look at what you did to us. So how much more then is what you did to us actually evil and wicked now that you understand who we are then? Oh, do you understand that how evil that was now that we are them people? Oh, you don't? Oh, so you're a hypocrite then, yeah? Oh, I see. So you're a hypocrite, huh? I understand. This world is truly sickening, man. It makes a whole bunch of sense that we're the Israelites. And it makes a whole big difference on how this whole earth reacts to us. They're acting this way toward us. And they continually are all up in our business. Not because we're black, Latino, and Native American, because we're the Israelites and they don't want us to be in power. Right? Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? And the vain thing that they're imagining is that we're gonna stop them from getting the kingdom that they're gonna have forever over us. We're gonna keep trying to postpone and stop that as much as we can. Psalm chapter 2 and verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together. All the different rulers of all these different nations are in agreement with each other against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying they're against Yahweh in the heavens, and they're against Yahweh Shai, and they're against the Israelites, saying, let us break their band asunder, let us stop them from having that power that they've been given from the Lord to rule over the whole earth, right? And cast away their cause from us and take away their ability that they're going to rule over us. Because we've got our own ways that we want to live. And we don't want the Israelites telling us what to do. We want to be able to worship the idols and the gods that give us power. So how we're going to do this, we're going to have to make them go through all these different things. And we're going to do, all of us are going to agree to do our own part to destroy these people. Right? And then we're going to figure it out who's going to rule after that. After they don't rule, we're going to figure out who's going to rule out of us. He that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh. Yahweh shall have them in derision. Right? Because they're acting like they're like man's goings are of man's. No, man's goings are of Yahweh. Man's goings ain't of men. So Yahweh made you do all of this. But the same way how he's going to make you do that, well, when it comes time, we're going to do what we're going to do, man. You're going to do your thing. And the time's going to come where we're going to do our thing. And don't start crying when the tables turn, and don't start bawling now. Because you weren't crying when you was having your way. When you was able to have it your way, you didn't cry. So when we get to start having it our way, don't start weeping and wailing neither, man. Because we went through the Atlantic slave trade and we deserved it. That's what you don't really hear too many so-called black people say, but we say it though. We deserved to go through that. But guess what? When we clean up our ways, you nations are going to deserve what's going to happen to you. So you can't get much fairer than that, right? Verse 5, then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. Now, I saw Apostle Tahar do a video title saying Big Daddy and his son are gonna come and take this over this world. And I haven't watched that video yet, but that's exactly what's gonna happen. Yahweh's gonna be on his throne and be like, I'm not even gonna say what he's gonna say, but whatever it's gonna be, or whatever he's gonna do, he's gonna let Yahweh Shai know now's the time to go and get these people, man. Go and get them. And Yahweh's gonna be having a fun time watching that. And Yahweh Shai is gonna have a fun time doing it. Because when he first came to the earth, he had to act like a lamb, right? And he got violent a couple of times when it came to making the cords and whipping Israelites, but that was Israelites that he was doing it to. And that were them lamb hits. But when he comes back this time, he's gonna come in the spirit of a lion. And lions ain't no joke. Like, you Edomites have really got a lot on your plate, man. And that's why you're trying to get bold and trying to become overly, openly racial with what you're doing. But it don't matter. Everything you're doing, like, I actually get happy sometime, and when I get a reminder from an Edomite that, yeah, these people are the devil, man. Like when they just be out in public and they just do some weird stuff to you, they just be an antagonist, or when a heathen does it as well. I actually kind of get happy. I'm like, yeah, man, thanks for the reminder, man. Yeah, this is why what's going to happen to you is going to happen to you. Thanks for reminding me. Thanks, man. They're thinking that they're just being an asshole and ruining my day or whatever, but actually they're reminding me why it has to be this way. It has to be this way, man. These heathens would never leave us alone if it doesn't go this way. They would not be able to help themselves. They wouldn't be able to stop. They'd never stop, man. They just keep going on more and more and more, being bigger and bigger scumbags towards us, man. So it makes sense why this is gonna happen to them. It makes sense, man. I understand. I understand why this is gonna happen. Yeah, will set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decrees Yahweh have said unto me, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance. And we want the heathen for our inheritance, man. You people talking about we ain't giving you no reparations, mate. You're the reparations. What are you talking about? We don't deserve to give you any. We don't owe you anything. You owe us you. You talking about, man? You're gonna be the part of the reward, man. Like multiple wives, beautiful fruits. I can't wait to taste some black sapote in the kingdom, man. A fruit that tastes like chocolate pudding. I want to eat that. I want to taste one of those, man. I want to see what that tastes like. I might never taste one of those in this society right now. So I'm looking forward to tasting that in the kingdom. Fruit that tastes like chocolate. Yeah, please. I'll have some of that. Right? And we'll get to taste the best version in the kingdom. I want to see what fruit that tastes like chocolate feels like, man. A fruit that tastes like chocolate. So it's chocolate, but it's a fruit. Oh, yes, please, man. I'll go for that. But guess what? Heathens for an inheritance is part of it too. Oh, so you're telling me I own these people? They're my personal property. Okay, thanks. Thank you, Heavenly Father. I'm going to put them to work right now. What? You're going to be getting used to that sound in the kingdom, and you can say, oh man, look at how these people, you see how they're talking? I knew they were evil. You did it though. You've done it. So are you evil? Oh, but it wasn't me. It was my ancestors. Don't try. Listen, man. Don't be a sellout now. Don't try and throw your ancestors under the bus now, because when your ancestors gave you the head start that they gave you, you wasn't crying about that, was you? So don't start crying about, no, it was my ancestors now. Don't even dare. Give your ancestors the respect that they deserve for giving you a head start, man. Because if they never did that stuff, you would all still be in the mountains scratching your bum. Which, just by chance, I seen an Edomite doing that the other day, man. He was absolutely disgusting, man. He looked like a straight up hills of eyes looking Edomite, man. Just scratching himself, man. chewing on his own tongue, sickening individual. Looked like one of the Whitakers, man. And I was like, yeah, man, that's what Esau is going to be like in the kingdom, and he's going to be bogged out. I'm like, where did my kingdom go? It's not going to take long for them Edomites to go back in that Planet of the Apes spirit, man, where they couldn't even talk. It's not going to take much. One generation, man. That first wave of Ian McStruthers, get tea and scones. That first generation is going to be gone, mate. After a while, they're going to be gone. And that next wave is going to come through. Unga booga, unga. Captain Caveman, straight out, man. That language might not have been passed on. And then eventually they're going to speak some kind of Edomite, COON, broken Paleo Hebrew. And they're going to know, man, like, yeah, we should have, you know what, man? All them years ago, we should have just picked our own cotton, you know? We should have just built Mount Seir. We should have just stayed in Mount Seir and minded our business. We should have never went to Israel. And yeah, we know it's close. We should have built a wall. Since we want to talk about walls, and we were good at making walls and bricks and all these kind of things, we should have just built a wall barriering us from seeing over what's going on in Israel. We should have just built a big wall and made a big desert wasteland in between it and never looked over there and just minded our business in Mount Seir, and we'll never look at them ever in our life. Right? That's what it's, you know what? Let me get this. Let me get this, man. It says it in Obadiah. You shouldn't have looked. You shouldn't have even looked over there, man. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 12. But thou shouldest not have looked on thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. They shouldn't have even looked over there. They should just be like, you know what? I ain't gonna get involved in this hanky panky. Let me mind my business, man. Let me just look the other way. Let me not even, Jacob's getting his ass whooped. I ain't looking. I don't like him for that birthright situation and that blessing situation, but I'm not gonna get involved either way. This is the damage of the Lord. This is the curse of the Lord that it says in the scriptures. I'm not gonna get involved in it. I'm not even looking. They should have never looked when we was having a good day. They should have never looked when we was having a bad day. They should have just minded their own business, and they're gonna know that in the kingdom. We shouldn't have even looked at them, you know. Because it says in Wisdom of Solomon 2 that an Israelite basically is grievous unto an Edomite to behold. Now, it doesn't mention the nations by name, but we know spiritually what it represents. Because the whole Bible is about Israelites. But it says that we're grievous unto them to behold. They don't even like looking at us, man. It pains them to look at us. You understand? When they see us, they're like, oh man, here we go again, these Israelites. It grieves them in their spirit for them to see us, man. But thou shouldest not have looked on thy brother in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldest thou rejoiced over Judah in the day of their destruction. They shouldn't have did that. But not only have they did that, they've been a part of the destruction, man. Right? They're doing it right now in their version of Babylon. So this situation here is talking about Babylon, right? But now they eventually became the daughter of Babylon and did the same things and worse that the Babylonians did to us. So what can they say? Can they say, no, we never did? They can say, no, we never. But is that true? And yet for all this, they want to say, what does it matter if we're the Israelites? All them works that they did against us was because they tried to claim we're 2/3, 3/3 of a human, 3/5 of a human being, right? Oh, you're 3/5 of the human being. That's why we're doing this. You're animals that mimic human sounds. It sounds like you're speaking English, but you're not really speaking English. You're just mimicking human sounds that you've heard humans speak, and that's how you got on the ark. Black people are not real humans. They're animals that got on the ark that mimic human sounds. They're not really people. So Louis can do whatever we want to do to them. No, we're the Israelites, and you know that we are, and you're angry about the birthright. But now that we realize that we're the Israelites, people want to actually have the nerve to say, what does it matter? What are you on about, man? You know what's happened to us. in our lifetime. Can you people even imagine seeing seeing the descendants of the people that did the worst things ever to you in your life, seeing them every single day, and being made to not even feel like you can even talk about none of it, because they're gonna talk about how you got some chip on your shoulder, but then they don't feel like they've got a chip on their shoulder when they're talking about make this place great again, make that place great again, they're taking all the jobs. Oh, you've got a chip on your shoulder. They wouldn't want to hear that. And if any Edomite ever starts complaining to me about any of that, I'm gonna tell him the same thing that they tell Jake. Oh, so you've got a chip on your shoulder of it, and I want to see their response, man. If I ever get into a conversation with an Edomite about that, I'm gonna be like, you know what? It seems to me like all these Edomites have got a chip on them. I ain't gonna use the word Edomite, but it seems to me like all these white people have got a chip on their shoulder, man. What do you think about that? It's not a chip on their shoulder, mate, is it? We deserve this. We'll break it great again. Whatever the hell they're gonna say. It matters that we're the Israelites, man, for the reason why I've mentioned this video, right? Let me carry on reading. Over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither should they have spoken proudly in the day of distress, and they've did all that. But when they're in our kingdom, they're gonna realize, man, we shouldn't have looked at them, we shouldn't have rejoiced, we should have watched our mouth, because look at us, what's happened to us now. Look at what's happening to us. We should have never trifled with these people. The ancient Egyptians, they found out that hard way about that. The advisors of Pharaoh, the Pharaoh of the time, they were saying to him, Pharaoh 7 was saying, how long is this man Moses going to be a snare unto us? Let him go. Can't you see yet that Egypt is destroyed? That's what they were saying. That's what they ended up saying, man. Can't you see yet that Egypt is destroyed? It's like, yo, how much longer are you going to have these Israelites up in this place, man? Can't you see that it's destroyed? Just get them out. Now, Esau's doing his own version of that now. They're grabbing up people, deporting them. They're trying it, man. But it's not going to work, though. Because man's goings are not of man's. Man's goings are of Yahweh. Right? Verse 13, thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Ain't they all up in our gates right now, in the land of Israel, Ezekiel 36th chapter? In the saying, aha, even the ancient great old places are ours for possession. They're doing that. They did it. And they're doing it. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor lay hands on their substance in the day of calamity. They've got their hands on all our land. Right now, people don't believe this. Okay, you don't have to. Because most of you so-called it's absolutely disgusting to me, you know. When I see all these people talking about Israel this, Israel that, Palestine this, Palestine that, right? I'm like, do you even know anything about the history of these people according to the Bible? Do you even know the prophecies concerning these people? Or are you just running your mouth, trying to sound deep, but when it really actually comes to actually understanding what these people are supposed to do on the earth, you don't have the answers? You're not prepared to go into the Bible and see the prophecies. And it says about these people, when the real Israelites are in the land again, for the final time, there's going to be no war on earth. And I ain't trying to hear none of that. It's going to happen in phases. It will happen, but it's going to happen in phases. No, the thing that's going to take place to make the real Israelites be in the land again is going to be so powerful that it's going to happen instantly, that they're going to be that people are not going to keep breaking war no more. Because Yahweh Shai is going to be leading them there. He's going to gather the Israelites from the four corners of the earth and take them back to their own land. The Messiah is going to be on the earth at the time when the Israelites go back to the earth for real, for the final time. So he ain't going to be allowing no war to take place. So what are you people talking about, man? Verse 14, neither should the staff stood in a crossway to cut off those that did escape. Neither should the staff delivered those up that remain in the day of distress. Now, if you apply that to modern day now, there's certain Israelites that don't care that they're Israelites, right? And Esau just lets them stay as they are. But then there's Israelites like us that we actually want to believe that we're Israelites, man, and we're turning back to our own way, our old way, right? And Esau's trying to cut us off. Oh, you ain't the Israelites. You ain't this. Oh, it goes back to one West. Oh, it goes back to one West. Abba Bivin. You just know all these names. You know all this stuff about the Israelites, right? But where's your research on your people? Okay, you did all this research on our law of us being Israelites, right? You understand all of our law, LORE, on how we believe we're the Israelites. Okay, do the same thing on the small hats. That's all we're asking. Go in and do the research on that. I've seen videos of this guy talking with him in a synagogue, but where's the video at though? Where's the full video? Where's the if he really was doing it? If he was really a true journalist of Israelite doctrine, right? That's what he claims to be. That's all he really is, a journalist of Israelites. Okay, do some journalism on the other people saying that they're Israelites then, right? Take some of them funds that they're giving you to go from America to London, from America to France, right? And use it on them. Oh, you can't do that though, can you? Because we know and you know who's giving you the money. But you ain't gonna admit it until the end times, man, you demon. Right? Verse 15, for the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. So not only you, Esau, all of the rest of you as well. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. So don't when you start to see all these things that are happening to you, you can't say anything because all that's happening to you is what you've done. So if you've lived good and you've lived like a nice human being as you claim to be and you're civilized, but then all that's gonna be happening to you is civilized things, right? Like you can't go wrong with a bit of civilizing, right? So you civilized us, right? So then, okay, as that was done, shall it be done unto thee? So we're gonna civilize you. What's the problem? What's your grievance? Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So you gave us rewards, right? All these things that you claim you gave us. So what's the problem? When we're gonna give you a reward as well? Like I don't understand what you're mad about, personally. You civilized us and gave us a reward in your claim. So we're gonna civilize you and give you a reward. Is our claim. Right? What's the problem? Unless, of course, that's not what you did and you did something else. But you'll have to tell me. I ain't too smart, man. I don't know too much. You remember, we're black people that predisposed with a low IQ, so I don't know, man. I can't tell, to be honest with you. I can't really see what's going on. You ease, man, are treading uphill through quicksand, man, to try and get your kingdom, and it's not gonna work, man. It matters if we're the Israelites, and I've gave a few reasons as to why, and I'm gonna end the lesson there. Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.